Have you ever wondered how to make smooth liquid drum and bass like Wilkinson and Goddard? Well, today I'm going to show you how they make their tunes like Nicotine and Used to This. Welcome back to How to DNB with Inverse Audio. My name's Denver and I've got a tune for you today. Drop a like and leave a comment with what you'd like to see next. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. Tea drinking time.
Holding back the tears, too scared to face reality. I still keep a picture of us in the pocket of my lipstick. I keep telling myself lies, close my eyes, I see it next to me. Oh, I'm a broke man, I knew they were trouble from the first kiss.
Goddard and Wilkinson both have unique ways of crafting their drums in their tracks. Wilkinson taking the slightly heavier approach with fat kicks and larger snares, Goddard utilising a lot of smaller claps and softer kicks. Both variations are very effective, so I'll try and blend these aspects together. I have also added a small jumpy kick shortly after the first snare. I will choose some top samples that are tight and carry a lot of energy, as well as a loose ride loop to give some depth. If you're interested in the drum samples and the bass presets used in today's video, check out the Inverse Audio Drum and Bass Sample Pack Volume 3. This pack contains 900 unique samples and 400 presets to improve your sound selection. We designed this pack to cover every corner of drum and bass, with jump up bass one shots to liquid Reeses. There is currently a 25% discount, so head over to inverseaudio.co.uk to get your pack today. Cheers. So, first of all, we've got our drums. Nice and simple. But I've kind of kept them as rhythmic as I possibly can and really smooth, so everything blends in and has its own place in the drums. So the snare doesn't stick out too much, the kick doesn't stick out too much, and the hats are kind of nice and like clean. So we've got our basic kind of drum and bass pattern, but I've added a little kick, as I said, just after the snare. So it kind of has a bit more bounce. It's almost like a bit of a trippy bounce. So we've got like, it almost falls back into the other kick. I've got a soft little ride fill loop here. This just kind of like takes up some of the room in the mix. Brings everything kind of together and makes it sound like it's got kind of some space to it. A little fill thing. Just a little shuffle thing you can take out from any break. If you just take out the segment between two snares, there's most likely a little shuffle like this. Another little top loop. Another little top loop again. But yeah, that's it for the drums. I'll go to effects quickly. I just have some compression. Because they're liquid drums, we want them smooth and compact. I've used a compressor in this instance, so I'll show you what it's doing. Not an awful amount. We're kind of compressing to about minus 1.7 decibels. Isn't too much. Usually if you're compressing like dance floor drums or jump up drums, you want them a bit more extreme. But for this case, we didn't really need it because nothing's particularly standing out. We've got the attack at 28 milliseconds, kind of close to 30, which is where I kind of aim for. Release is about 440 milliseconds. Threshold is at minus 11, just so we're getting that little edge. And I've turned on this little sidechain EQ filter, meaning that the low isn't taken as an input into the sidechain. I just have a little free clip here as well, kind of gluing all of the stuff in and making sure there's no like transient that kind of sticks out above 0 dB. As you can see, that's all being cut. If you look really closely at the bottom, you can see all of the little red bits at the top is where the transients are getting cut. But yeah, that's it. On to the bass. In this situation, I'll use a smooth Reese bass from the Inverse Audio Pack to create a deep sub layer under the track. I also used another Reese bass and higher notes to allow for easy automation when it comes to applying filters and distortion. Goddard and Wilkinson like to keep their bass patterns smooth and simple to keep the rhythm flowing, so I'll try and emulate this. Also, considering it's a liquid track, we don't want to go too insane on our sidechain, so maybe I'll consider removing the snare sidechain that we usually have on and reducing the kick slightly. So, onto the bass. We've got a lot of automation clips, but don't worry, I've probably kind of overdone it, and I'll explain all of it anyway. But first of all, I'll show you the main Reese that we've got. It's in the Volume 3 pack. Just two saw wavetables, the default patches. This is down -3 octaves. This is up. This is down -2, but +7 semitones, meaning it's more of a melodic respace. If you listen to what I mean, it kind of has like an extra tone in it, like the da, which makes it more melodic. If I turn it back, listen to the difference. If I turn it back up, there's like, it's like an extra tone. It almost sounds a bit more like a chord. But sometimes I like to do this for Liquid because it makes everything feel a bit more melodic. A bit of distortion on here as well. This unison's up at 7 and is being modulated. This saw is on unison of 7. And the D tune's at 0.12. Yeah, this LFO is modulating the cutoff here. So as you can see, it's got a bit of a pumpy wave effect. The sub's activated and the white noise is activated and also automated with this LFO. That's all for that respace. I'll go to effects real quick. OTT at 29%. Kind of brings out all of the frequencies we want. This EQ, if you look at this respace, previously, the second harmonic was louder than the first, and we want that sub to be key. We want this sub to be able to stick out and not be undershadowed by this second harmonic. So I've had to bring this down. This is the second harmonic there. This is the sub. Brought the sub up and the second harmonic down. So it kind of fits in a bit better. I've boosted the lows because it's the subs in the same patch. Usually I will create a sub patch and an upper kind of mid patch. In this instance, I didn't because it's Liquid and you don't really need a really solid sub, if that makes sense. I've got a decapitator, which is part of the automation that I'll go over in a second. Thermal, just to saturate it again. The respace that there is automation on is this one. This is the classic respace that I used to use in all my Liquid tunes. Got a mellow but unstable wavetable, down 2 octaves, and the fine tune is -12. That's really important. Same with the other one, but it's a basic mini, and with a simple filter that I've actually turned off, basically. Some dimension, some X-shaped distortion, some EQ to bring out the highs, some delay, some phaser, and a compressor. It's on the same effects bus insert, sorry. So I'll go over what these automations do because it looks a bit complicated, but I promise you it's not. This first automation here is simply modulating the high cut that I have on all of the basses. As you can hear, everything's high cut until this point, and it really brings it out. This one's the decapitator level, and I wanted to bring out all of the kind of like harsh kind of harmonic distortion on there. So I raised up this decapitator and automated it so it only came in when I removed the filter. So it goes, kind of sounds a bit gritty almost. This one is just modulating the reverb, automating the reverb, sorry. So after it happens, there's a bit of a long kind of decay on it. It goes, and you hear it kind of drift off. I love doing that stuff with these respaces. It always sounds really good using reverb on it. This is, I'll show you what it does. I'm basically automating this cut that I've done on the EQ, which is the kind of like shifting phasing effect you get. The wah, 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 wah. By doing that, you can bring a notch like this down, find it over here and wiggle this bit around. Then right click on this and create automation clip. That'll create an automation clip for that. And then that is what I just drew in here. So it kind of goes wobble, wobble. If you can hear that. A really effective thing. Really simple as well, but it adds like so much movement in the res. It sounds really cool. I've also added some chorus here, which is just automated. So when this happens, so it sounds a bit more flowy and weird. I've got a sidechain here as well for every kick. I've been very specific with the Liquid. We don't want massive sidechain dips in the kick because the kicks aren't supposed to have that too much presence. So yeah, I've just kind of followed the kick along. You can hear that there, it's ducking. But yeah, that's actually everything for our respace. Just 2 different presets, one of which is slightly more dirty and distorted, which is really good for the kind of modulation and stuff that we did. But yeah, on to the next part. Let's go. Now moving on to the vocals. Got some really original vocals here over from Vocalify. And if you want 10% off, you can actually use our code InverseAudio10 over on the Vocalify website. They have plenty of really sick vocals on there. This being one of them. Comes with all the stems. So you've got background vocals, like left and right vocals, bass vocals. Really sick. I found this one on there in the drum and bass section. And I used the wet stems from it. Sounds like this. I've pitched them up one semitone to meet the key that I was using. I've got an alter boy, which brings the formant back down a -9 or -0.9, so -1 semitone, to make it sound like it's in the original key in terms of like frequency. I have a Pro Q3 doing some surgical EQ on it, boosting this little note here. Some of this to bring it more out in the mix, make it slightly more present. Like I said, these vocals are already mixed, so I'm only just doing a bit of more stuff to kind of get it to fit in. Bit of saturation again. Another DS just in case, which takes out the harsh S's. And some delay. I've got some automations for this delay as well, as you can see here. Yeah, this background vocal I've got as well. Sounds a bit like this. Really nice, kind of glues it in to the background. And now I've got also these sub layers. Gives a bit of depth to it. This, I think, works really well in the drop as well. I've got this little section here just before it drops in. And the timeless kicks in as well, just as it drops. They're completely track ready to drop. Really cleanly recorded as well, so they're really easy to work with. But yeah, they fit perfectly. In this second part of it, I kind of have the main vocal drop out and I just have the background vocal sitting in there. Yeah, that's it for the vocal. Let's move on to atmospheres and effects. Okay, for our atmospheres and effects section, I'll start off with these two atmospheres from the Inverse Audio pack. I love these ones in the liquid section. Sounds so nice, just adds so much texture into there. Got one pan to the left, one pan to the right. This one sounds like this. This one sounds like this. Really ethereal, and they work really well. I've used them in both the drop and the intro. Yeah, I have this little synth pluck thing here as well. Really nice little art from the preset. Just got this monster wavetable. This LFO is just affecting the cutoff of this filter, making it bounce and kind of modulating the sound as well. And the envelope is also modulating the bend plus the negative, which kind of morphs it. Some simple effects, some dimension, some little bit of distortion, some delay, some reverb. And this cutoff here on the pluck is automated with this automation I've got here. So it kind of phases in really slowly. As you can see, this filter's slowly sneaking up. Yeah, and that's what brings it in. I have this as well, which is just a little arcade. Some more ambience kind of things. I have a simple piano as well, which is actually a free one from Labs. Autograph the Grand. Sounds really nice. Simple chords. I just had this activated up here. If you can see, oh, my face camera's in the way. Let me drag that out of the way real quick. This little thing up here, activated. That basically shows you a highlight to the notes in the key that you're working in. So if you select the key by right-clicking on it, select the key, you can easily find where notes go really well. So you can actually create chords. really easily and really quickly. And that's basically all I've done here. And then I've just gone through them and kind of created some really nice, like, subtle kind of chords. But yeah, that's all for this video. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching. And yeah, I'll play the whole song out for you now. Nice one. Enjoy, guys. Cheers.
I've been losing sleep, holding on to memories. Some things never change. It's hard enough for me to breathe. And I keep a picture of us in the pocket of my ribcage. I keep telling myself lies, close my eyes, I see you next to me. Oh, how you broke me. I knew that you were trouble from the first kiss. Oh, how you broke me. Should've known better, you were bad for me, bad for me. Empty promises, that's all you ever gave to me. Holding back the tears, you're scared to face reality.